Good morning, everybody. It's early mornings LATE. The toast is toasted and the butter is buttery. I'm here, you're here, and the Dow futures are trading up significantly. Microsoft's up about 50 cents, 245 in after-hours trading. Apple is up about a quarter in early hours to 135. Walmart up about $1 to 78. Big run for Walmart, up about $10 since early January. Tesla up 446 to 816 early morning trading. Of course, Wall Street was closed yesterday because of President's Weekend. So today we will see, as Wall Street reopens, what they're going to react to in stimulus. Internationally, the markets were slightly up over the weekend and overnight as well. Euro markets, euro was up about 0.5 to 1.2. Stocks in the S&P were up about 0.5, and MS, the stock euro index, about 2.5 indexes across the board. Meantime, outages continue to ripple this country. In this recording, I'll go over where the stimulus package will be this week and why that call for a vote in the House will happen no later February 22nd. But why stimulus checks may need to go higher, FUC may need to go higher, and how Wall Street may be pushing them to go bigger and bolder than even that. Great news across the board. I'm really excited for you on a big early mornings broadcast of Early Mornings LATE. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Early Mornings LATE. How are you? From Wall Street to Main Street, from my home to your home. I've been looking for this bacon, but I can't find it. Big news across the board, financial news, economic news, stimulus news, and more all throughout the day. I'm so excited you joined me. If you did not catch EIDL and Overnight to LA, please watch that. That was big because EIDL is in the third stimulus, and then FPUC, catch that because FPUC is in the third stimulus. And meantime, I'm back with you shortly after this video with a continuation of Early Morning to LA. So if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. It's important you subscribe because, boy, over the next few days, stimulus will be front and center, and you don't want to miss a beat. The stimulus bill will be debuted this week. The vote will be around the 22nd in the House. So there's a lot of things happening around the clock. I don't want you to miss anything. Also, like this video, helps in the algorithm rankings. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. So much happening across the board. Let's get right to it. But first, there's an instant chat over there. If you've not, join in there. Become a Purple member and join in the chat. Same group of wonderful people. Chat about your weekend. Chat about what you think of stimulus. And there's so much happening. Let's get right to the breaking news. The breaking news as you start the new morning is that outages just continue to ripple this country because of the massive snowstorm. In Texas, it was crippled because the Electric Reliability Council of Texas confirmed its #1 most important grid operator, and the state's wind turbines were inoperable Sunday. Meantime, there was a record 800 daily outages because of cold temperatures in the past week from the Gulf of Mexico all throughout the area. Temperatures in Dallas yesterday were 3 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's not just electricity that's been impacted, also oil. Refineries have been shutting down left and right because of the cold Arctic air. Motiva Enterprises LLC has halted operations at Port Arthur, Texas as of Monday. And south of Houston, Marathon Petroleum, which is near Galveston Bay, had to shut down as well. Millions have lost power, and the concern for electricity continues to grow. Meantime, a new report over the weekend from Political talked about stimulus and talked about the impact that we're facing with long-term unemployment. What is this number? This is different than the jobs number. This is different than the new unemployment claims numbers. And the concern is that the stimulus package does not address this enough. Let me explain where we are. The stimulus package has a $1,400 stimulus check for individuals, $1,400 for children, $1,400 for adult dependents. If you're on benefits, you're getting $1,400 as well. It also has a $35,000 stimulus check for children, 5 to newborn, and a little bit less for 17 to 6. Why? Because those groups get a $3,600 or $3,000 stimulus check plus $1,400. And while the number of stimulus checks in a household at $1,400 may be limited, the number that can get the $3,600 is not limited. How is it paid? The following. $1,400 is paid shortly after it becomes law, but the $3,600 will be paid in $300 a month installments starting the month of July for 1 year. Or $300 installment, $250 installments for 1 year if you are 6 to 17. This is per child. Now, these numbers are absolutely through the roof, and they aren't alone. College students will be getting $1,700 plus $1,500, $1,700 plus $1,400. Paid sick leave recipients will get $1,400 a week up to, based upon a $73,000 annual salary, plus $1,400, and there's more. I mean, it just keeps on hitting. But the concern is the continued unemployment. Continued unemployment continues to cripple this country. What is continued unemployment? This is a person who has been unemployed more than 6 months. The number is huge. It's currently at 40% of the total population of unemployed people in this country. The total number of unemployed people is 21 million people. The percentage is 40%, and it's actually the highest percentage since the Great Recession, which was a record at 46%. The concern is a series of reports released by Politico over the weekend that suggests this economy may not be back to reemployment until next year for non-long-term people, but for long-term unemployed people, they may not have their jobs back for 10 years. The concern is that the stimulus package is not big and bold enough. It was written at a time that Joe Biden thought that this economy was going to sort of whiplash and go back to normal. But Janet Yellen and Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen and Chief of the Federal Reserve Jerome Powell both are indicating that that unemployment numbers are not particularly good at the moment. That unemployment numbers suggest that reemployment of the vast majority of the U.S. population may not happen until 2021. It's a cautious signal, says Robert Rosner, senior U.S. economist for Morgan Stanley. If we're left with a large pool of long unemployment workers, it's something that could mean persistent higher rates of unemployment and persistent needs for support, like unemployment benefits. The concern is that these numbers keep on hitting. Another report says, you think about the people of long-term unemployment getting into a job, that's very hard to do. If you talk about a person who's homeless getting a job, it's like, forget it. You've gone from this to a highly difficult, almost impossible situation. And then Catherine Abraham, who served as a member of the Obama White House Council of Advisors, said, it's going to be hard for them. It's going to be hard for the economy too. You don't want people who go bankrupt and have to dig out of that. And that's where we are this morning. The concern is that the stimulus at hand is not big enough and bold enough. $1,400 stimulus check is not as well as promised. It was supposed to be $2,000 plus $1,400. And ultimately, if you're only dealing with $1,400 and you're waiting until late February to get it out, the impact is smaller and not quick. It's smaller and not quick. $2,000 plus $1,400 and getting it out in January is quick, abrupt, and could bounce the economy up. But $1,400 slow and meandering out, not particularly there. Ron Wyden, Democrat out of Oregon, said the economic factors of the third stimulus package are so apparent that you should be tying these items for their expiration date to economic conditions. They shouldn't be expiring just because of what a House subcommittee thinks they should expire. FPUC under the third stimulus package is $400 a week from March to August. Wyden has a lot of problems about that, but one of the problems, in addition to the amount, is the expiration. He says, why is it expiring? I don't understand. Why is it expiring? It doesn't make any sense why it's expiring. Janet Yellen says employment will not be back to normal this year. Jerome Powell says it's not back to normal. No one thinks it's back to normal. So why is unemployment expiring in August? Well, we'll get to it later. Oh, we heard that story last year. Wyden says that the plan should be tied to economic conditions, and if economic conditions have not improved, then they shouldn't expire. And I agree. The stimulus check is for now because unemployment numbers are bad. So currently the unemployment numbers are new claims of about 780, 750 a week. So let's say we look at late April and unemployment claims newly every week on Thursday morning are still at 500,000. Well, there should be an automatic check to go out. It's as simple as that. And how about FPUC? Well, Wyden says if economic conditions are not improving, it shouldn't expire. UI and PUA should not expire. Currently, they're set to expire in August again. When exactly Congress is on vacation? No bueno. This is where the problem sits. And it also sits in the lack of focus with elected officials. Bernie Sanders all weekend long and last week talked about the $15 minimum wage, but the $15 minimum wage won't survive. There's no less than 3 senators who have now said they're going to stand up and vote against the bill when it lands in the Senate unless they get their way. And 2 of them say they want the $15 an hour out. Bernie Sanders says, I am working around the clock to get 50 votes for this issue. That's what I support, and that's what most people understand. But he's not going to get that support. The issue is what other items are not going to get support. They're not going to get support if these stimulus items are so tight. There's absolutely no reason we should suffer through this long-term recovery, Janet Yellen says. I would expect that if this package is passed, we get back to full employment next year. That's not particularly promising because it basically says you're getting back to a full employment next year. Well, what are we doing with the stimulus package right now? The markets is waiting to see how big the package is going to be, and it's going to be important. They can get through the reconciliation, says Quincy Crosby, Chief Market Strategist at Prudential. What Wall Street is going to look at today is whether or not the stimulus package that proposes to give big stimulus to things like families, $3,600 a child, up to $35,000 for a family of 7, proposes to give $5,000 grants to businesses impacted by the pandemic, proposes to give $1,400 stimulus checks to all individuals, is enough or too little, too late. And as its approach to doing things now may be too little, what is it going to do 4 weeks from now or 6 weeks from now? Ron Wyden said we're senators. We should not be coming back every 4-8 weeks for the same issue. Just do a bill that doesn't expire. Just do a bill that has solutions. And ironically, he's not alone, and I'm not alone in this message. The president said it himself. The president said in January, he said it on Inauguration Day, he said it on election night, that we should not have legislation that requires massive wranglings, negotiations, squibbles, and quabbles every single time we try to get something very basic out. They should have an easy fix to get something that's current, amended, and extended. What is he referring to? It has to be the stimulus check and FPUC. And it has to be PPP and EIDL grants. Those things have been first stimulus, second stimulus, now third stimulus. Why do we keep on having delays of time between them? Why do we have to have them expire and then spend 3 months trying to get them back and reinstated? We've learned the lesson twice. This should be the last lesson. In this video coming up after this, I go over more of what's in third stimulus and why Wall Street's very anxious to see where the mentality is this week, because they think the stimulus package may not be the correct address for certain issues. And I agree as well. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member of Purple Power Casino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay about life for more.